Tonight we are covering Sherrie Shiner, who is a conspiracy theorist cult leader like nothing you've ever seen before. But when her online cult spiraled out of control, the tragic end became a shocking reality. Shiner led her followers to the edge, resulting in murder and dun 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 suicide.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But don't commit suicide. If you or your friend are thinking about doing such a thing, contact the suicide prevention hotline.
Good advice, Travis. Let's get this podcast started. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the GITM podcast. I'm Phil, and Travis is sitting to my left, looking handsome as always. How are you doing tonight, Travis?
I'm doing pretty well. I keep looking at myself every time we record this shit and noticing that I have a neck now.
Oh, yes, you have a neck.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's
I like
nice.
it.
That's nice. But tonight,
The lack of food is really helping. Go on.
tonight we are covering some true crime, which is generally your forte.
TC.
And I will do true crime when it gets a little cultish, when it gets a little, UFO-ish, little alien reptilians.
UFO-ish.
When it covers the whole gambit of shit that gets me hard, I will cover true crime.
Not going there.
Well, let's be honest. I'm old. A lot of shit does that now. The wind blows. The flagpole rises. Let's
Enjoy it while it lasts. You got about 6 months before it just stops working entirely.
Knock on wood. Hold on. That's about the only thing on me that hasn't gone to shit.
And that is also arguably wood.
Right. I mean, strokes. That's about the only thing on me that still works.
That means two things.
Yes.
So have we had any exciting things pop up? Do we need anything? I do have.
We are doing this on Saturday. We covered this last week. The schedule's getting a little hectic. So all of you podcast listeners, if you want to join us on our YouTube channel, generally we do these on Wednesday night, but because Daddy's working third shift, it's a little harder now. So we are coming to you live from our YouTube channel on Saturday evening. So you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, hopefully Spotify, because we love Spotify.
Probably Monday morning.
Monday morning. That is when it is Monday morning. So.
At the time that you're listening to this podcast, I hate when other podcasts are so fucking organized that they can do that. Yeah. Like, well, yeah. So yesterday, Thursday, as you're listening to this episode.
So we are having some changes. Hopefully, I think we'll settle into it now that I'm getting more adjusted to the third shift aspect of my life. Because it's kind of hard. My sleep is all jacked up. I'm tired 24 hours a day.
Oh, every time. I'm not going to mess with it.
We'll mess with that out.
Later.
It's been like that for like 3 weeks.
Has it?
I've noticed it every fucking week. All right, yes. But other than that, I got really nothing going on.
Not really sure.
No dad jokes.
I had a lot of either farting or fart conversation in the last week of my life.
Well, let's not have that.
We're having it.
No, I don't.
One of the anecdotals is that
I don't want fart conversations.
Well, it's happening.
Farts are not funny.
Well, it's bullshit.
No,
that is a fucking lie.
Because when you get to be my age, you never know. It might not be a fart.
I'm younger than you and same. But no, I don't know, man. Like, there was like a 15-minute conversation at work, just all about, like, mostly the funniest aspect of farts, personally, relationships.
Well, I'm a firm believer.
Oh, I know.
That I do not want to hear my significant other anally fart.
You just said flatulate.
Yes, I do not want to hear it.
Flatulence.
I like to live under the delusion that they don't do that kind of stuff.
Well, it's crazy. Then you hear
they don't do number two. They don't. I just want to live under that delusion.
The one I hear usually is I didn't fart. I tooted. It's like, okay, well, if you tooted, why does it smell like fucking John Wayne Gacy's dead body in here?
That's not a toot.
That's a whole fart. But no, yeah, like, especially, I love, like, just hearing people talk about stuff like that at work is hilarious to me. Like fucking, what was it? Found out one young lady that I work with, before she even started dating her current boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She went over to his house just because she thought he just wanted to be friends, because that's how that works.
Yeah, because men and women can be friends.
Well, his mom's house, whatever. They're young.
let me let all the women in on a secret. If you have a male friend, I guarantee you he's thought about dicking you down. Guarantee it. 100% accuracy.
At least in some fashion.
In some
you know what I'm
fashion.
saying? Like, even if it was never like an actual thought where he was like, ugh. I'm sure the thought, it's just been like fucking raced through his mind and been like, her vagina.
Yeah, 100%. Now, doesn't mean that's going to be acted on.
Or they've at least thought about like what that person looks like naked.
I believe it's 100% accurate, but there is a 75% chance that, given the opportunity, he would lay the pipe.
Probably.
I'm comfortable saying those odds.
Yeah. So yeah, she thought he just wanted to be friends and went over to his mom's house. This girl had to ask him to help her unclog his mom's toilet before they were even dating.
See, that's why I will not do that I do not like to do that in other places.
I don't know. I was like,
not my home.
I was like, that's a fucking power move, man.
I have a phobia that you do that, you drop a load, you send some boys to the subway, and you hit the button, and the tide starts rising and just keeps rising.
I've done it before.
That is my greatest phobia. That panic that sets in. So I have conditioned my bowels to not.
Do you like Kim Jong-un? You can just turn it off. Those
Yes.
fucking squirrels.
Yes.
You
Funny
hear 'em?
story. I was dating a young lady, and they're fucking in the attic.
That's down there.
They're fucking in the basement.
I think they're fucking trying to nest up underneath that little patio out back.
But
I'm sorry, that massive veranda that's attached to the GITN mansion.
I was dating a lady at one time, and I would be over at her home. I would literally say, you know what? I think it's time for me to go home.
Because you had to poop?
Because I had to go to the bathroom.
I will say the one part about like dating and everything, when you like want to like make an impression and you don't fart in front of them and stuff, like it is one of the finest moments as a human being after you've been with somebody for like 3 or 4 hours and you had like Taco Bell for lunch that day. And you're like, okay, I had so much fun. I really enjoy our time together. You're so funny. On the cheek, yeah. Okay, bye. Good night, beautiful. Scare. You just fart your way back to the car. But no. So this whole, and then we also started talking about like another manager where I work. Like I've just stopped. I'm no longer gonna. You fuck off. I'm no longer gonna try to save that person from my butt activities, because like I'll go like walk away somewhere to fart, and then like sure as shit I'll be like, and I'm like, and I'll like be checking my phone real quick, and the next thing, hey Travis, da da da. I'm like, you know what? You brought this on yourself. Like you're gonna be in a world of hurt now, and it's not my fault because I walked away. But the main story I was getting to was, so Monday, better half plays softball, as you know.
Yes.
She made really good contact a couple times this week. Got called out on some bullshit slow pitch rec league shit. I called the umpire a cocksucker.
Well, most of them are.
To his face. I was surprised I didn't get kicked out of the fields. But so then we were like, oh, what do we want to do for dinner? And like we were listing stuff off, and it was like Olive Garden came up, and she just gave me that side eye, and I was like, okay, so we're going to Olive Garden. Got it. So we go to Olive Garden. Fantastic. Because if anybody doesn't know, if you want the life hack to end all life hacks, for $4.79, you can get endless bowls of Alfredo sauce to dip your breadsticks in.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we killed a whole bowl of salad. I'd say 4 to 5 things of breadsticks over the course of the whole meal. I think only 2 bowls of Alfredo sauce this time. And then I was going to get the grilled chicken margarita, because I'm on a Not on a diet. I live a new lifestyle, as we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, fuck that. That chicken and shrimp carbonara looks really good. Fuck me up with that, Poppy. So they gave that to me. Delicious. Lights my stomach on fire. Not like I'm in pain fire, but like just almost immediately. Like we're getting on the highway right next to the restaurant. I'm like, I'm going to have to do a thing when we get home, just so you know. just a little heads up. So I get a little farty. Okay, no big deal. But then they start to, mature like a good bourbon or a Cabernet.
They aged well.
Yes. And we actually stopped by a mutual friend's house to pick something up. And while she was grabbing it, I let one loose. And then I was like, I'm sorry, when she got in the car. And then she actually gagged a couple of times, which made me supremely proud. I think we're off center a little bit. But anyway, that made me disgustingly proud in a weird way. Because I don't think I've ever had that effect on anybody. But the best part of this whole thing is I said something that I don't think I've ever said, and I don't think I might not ever say again, and probably wouldn't have thought I would have ever said. We got back here, and I was wearing, or no, this might have been a different night. Either way, farts. The other night, we got back here, and I was wearing some jogger pants, like some sweatpants, and, like, I had been farting a lot. And, like, I straight, like, looked at her, but when I opened the door and I looked at her, I was like, I feel like my pants are going to stink. A phrase I don't think I've ever thought to say in my life. But it was so bad, I was afraid that the pants on my body were going to smell like farts.
Nice.
I woke myself up with them the other day.
That's nice.
It was awful. Then I was like, I'll just go to the bathroom and take care of this now. Whip the blanket off. Fucking Hiroshima under there. I'll tell you what. Goddamn, a Dutch oven myself.
I think we've had enough of fart talk.
Is there anything else? Is there any other anecdotes that have happened in the world of us? I'm sure something will come up.
No, I mean, and nothing's really.
It's been a pretty laid back week.
Yeah, and nothing really has happened in the news, really, out of the ordinary.
The NFL draft.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
some questionable picks by both your at least local team, our local team, and my team. Yeah, fucking the Steelers took the tight end that I wanted. Bunch of bitches.
Yep. So, I mean, that's about it. It's kind of a slow news week.
And go figure, the Steelers picked Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, shocker.
Crazy.
Yep. All right, let's get to the Sherrie Shiner story, the tragic end of an online cult. Are we ready?
Yeah, tell me about this lady in her little hat and her little car at the parade.
No, different Shiner. Sherrie Shiner, excuse me. Wow, frog. Damn it, Kermit. Damn it, I told you not to do that. Just control yourself. Okay, Sherrie Shiner was an online conspiracy Christian cult leader.
That's a lot of fucking like subcategories.
This hooker hits them all. Shiner can best be described as a right-wing conspiracy theorist who hated the left. She did not like the left. She was, let's be honest, a Trumper. Which, not that we're kind of putting all those people who voted for Trump, which I'll be honest, full disclosure, I voted for Trump.
I didn't.
But the world tends to put all those people under a umbrella of insanity.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's vice versa. Right. It just depends on which side you're looking at it from. Because my thing is always like, when I say I didn't vote for Trump, everybody's like, oh, Biden. I'm like, there's more than two, asshole. I can literally vote for fucking Thor if I really want to.
I'm lying. I wrote in my penis.
I wrote in Spider-Man once.
So my penis got one vote for president.
Yeah, I wrote in Spider-Man one time.
But Sherrie Shiner kind of does engulf that crazy Trumper. Let's be honest. Which
she's every bad aspect of what people see in the extreme far right people. Is she racist too?
Well, she's religious, so there is some questionable, which I won't dive too deep into, but all religious fanatics are racist to some extent.
I've always felt it weird that like you see all these fucking like KKK guys and shit going to Trump rallies and Republican rallies, and like not saying that it doesn't happen, but the fact that there's not more videos of the other Republican Trump supporting people there going, "Hey, fuck off."
Yeah.
Because you know it happens.
Right. Now, Shiner wasn't your typical cult leader, which we've covered a few cult leaders, in our previous episodes.
Yeah.
She was more of an online cult leader.
What a pussy.
Her following was completely online. There was no
Hashtag cult.
There was no camp drinking the Kool-Aid. There was no firearms in the basement. Even though she does, which we will kind of get into, talk about preparing for Armageddon.
What would it be like? Could you imagine a Zoom meeting where you're trying to like orchestrate a group suicide?
That is a good point.
Again, if you're having thoughts of suicide or you know anybody who is, contact the suicide prevention hotline.
I mean, an online cult following is kind of like phone sex or video sex. Yeah, it'll get the job done visually. It's somewhat stimulating, but it's not the same as in person.
I mean, I guess I'm not very versed in actually attending cult activities, so I wouldn't know.
I have a pretty vivid imagination, so I can kind of figure out what's going on.
I don't know because there's that one, I can't remember the name of it, but there is that one podcast that like that's what they do. I think I told you about them. They went in, they like not infiltrated, but they got into one, like they go and they like do like the preliminary, like probationary period or whatever the fuck you will for like these religious groups.
The hazing portion.
Yes, so they can get like that insider's knowledge. It's crazy.
What's it called? When you?
It's not hazing anymore. They don't haze anymore in college.
I have no issue with hazing. I was hazed. What's it called? When pledging is the word I'm looking for. There's no pledging period anymore.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
You're just not allowed to kick the shit out of them and make them stay up until they hallucinate anymore.
Yeah.
Which is college. You don't even have to make somebody do that. All you have to do is say, exam week.
Funny story about
exam week and Adderall.
Which I don't know if I've covered on this podcast or we might have talked about this.
Does that have to do with farts?
No, when it comes to hazing. My freshman year in college.
Let's not incriminate ourselves here, Skull and Bones.
I was on, playing on the football team, highly recruited. We had a hazing for the freshman football players, which I partook in.
What did that entail?
It started out, it was the last day of doubles or of our two-a-days, and it was the first day everybody was on campus.
How gay is this about to get?
Oh, it gets real fucking gay.
I was just because I'm not trying to be mean to the gay community. Let's just be real. When you put a bunch of boys in a room and they decide they want to fuck with each other as a group, stereotypically gay shit then is in trail.
So basically, it started off as a team function. If you ever watched like the NFL stuff where they make the rookies do skits and stuff like that.
Oh, they're so funny.
We had that. We had to perform type shit. And then I kind of knew what was going on because one of my high school coaches went to this college. I got the lowdown. Not exactly details, but I knew shit was about to get real.
Yeah.
And I was prepared for it.
Like you were definitely going to be face to face with a one-eyed monster.
I was so prepared for it. Because I did not, freshman athletes didn't stay they didn't technically have an athletic dorm. So I was in a dorm with all normal people or normal students. And my roommate, who was from Dayton, Ohio, was not an athlete.
R.I.P.
And
I'm just guessing.
When I left to go to this function, I looked at him, I said, "You lock this fucking door, I will break you fucking in half." Because he might have weighed 85 pounds soaking wet. I said, "I will literally rip you fucking limb. Do not lock this door." Because I knew there was a good possibility I was not going to have my keys at the end of this evening. So it starts out normal. And then we do the skits and stuff. And all of a sudden I see the coaches leave. I'm like, fun's getting ready to start, boys. They take us all outside to the practice field where they had been watering one spot all day. And they proceed to tell us, get naked.
Why is it always naked?
I don't know. So they made us strip down, not to our BVDs. We had to lose it all with all our glory. And we proceeded to do up-downs in the mud. Then we had to do, have you ever heard what is called, I think we might have talked about this before, an elephant walk.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, it's not what you're truly thinking, but
Damn it.
You had to bend over, reach between your legs, and grab the hand of the guy behind you.
So it was like
So you're like this, and your hand's between his legs, and you had to walk.
So it was like a human centipede, but a little cuter.
Kind of. So your face and ass right here. And you're reaching between the legs. And we had to walk. And that's actually a little bit more complicated than you think. Luckily, I was athletic. I was coordinated. I could do that shit. So we do that for a little.
Had some practice.
We do that for a little while. And then we get to the edge of the so-called campus. And they tell us to stop, stand up. And they said, you're going to walk to the fountain. And we come around the corner. And what is in front of us? A tunnel of the entire student body who is on campus now, leading directly to the fountain.
I was really thinking you were going to fucking say that it was the guy, the BBC guy from the meme that died.
Yes.
Just sitting at the end of the road, just waiting for you.
So we had to go to the fountain, get in the fountain.
At least you got to rinse off.
Yes, rinse off. And then we had to sing the fight song. And that was it.
These fucking squirrels, I swear to God.
And that was it. So after we do all that, we get out of the fountain. Every female on campus is there. And they tell us, you better start running to your rooms to get dressed. So I ain't running. I'm walking. And some of the team captains and shit are like, you better start running. I said, I ain't walking. I ain't running. Fuck that. I walk. I'm only about 300 yards that way. I don't give a shit. So we walked. They said, campus or security is going to come. I said, I don't give a shit.
That's your fucking fault, dickheads.
I don't care. I ain't running nowhere.
Maybe if you weren't so obsessed with having people dick out all the time.
I'm not running. So it comes to the next night or two. Each dorm has a little hazing period. Now, you got to remember, on my floor, there's only me and another guy. It was just regular students. And they come to get me and say, we're going to come to the end of the hall. I said, you're not hazing me. He goes, come to the hall. I said,
no.
I said, make me.
Yeah.
And he went like this, cuz.
Right, like no. Aren't you an accounting major?
You are 4 foot tall, and my right leg is bigger than you, and you're going to make me do anything? I said, no, I ain't doing it. And he just turned and walked away. And me and the other guy were standing there as they were taking all the other freshmen out the door. I said, see you fuckers later. I'm out.
You know what you should have done?
What?
You should have been like, all right, and you should have closed the door and just come out naked again and been like,
let's go, boys.
Do it like the fucking old man from Ready to Rumble. Sal Bandini, want to wrestle?
Yes. So, but that, I don't know about getting back to cults.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of initiation type thing. You would think.
Yeah, they got naked and they did calisthenics in the rain.
Or letting them fuck your wives. Letting them cult leader fuck your wife. Or that's what it turns into eventually.
Usually. It was, what did this lady do? It was online.
It was online.
Was she cam sodaing with people?
No, I do not think.
Was she hitting them with a live Jasmine free show?
Well, it sounds like she was not. There's pictures of her are hard to find. Now, there is a
Go figure, the online cult leader is fucking probably behind a paywall. I bet you there's like a fucking Patreon or some shit that
she had one at one time. There is a Vice documentary. The Devil You Know. It's a season 2, I think. It covers.
I must have seen. I'm pretty sure I've seen all that show, but I also tend to nap through TV shows.
But it's like 6 episodes, and it's really fucking long and kind of hard to follow because it kind of covers anything like the murder.
Just this is 6 episodes.
Just her story and the murder. Everything we're covering tonight is
over the breadth of 6 episodes.
6 episodes. So
hour-long episodes? Well, hour for TV, so 45
45
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
How the fuck?
Yeah, there's a lot of redundancy.
There always is.
I mean, I can only make it to 2 or 3 of them.
Just look at the Ancient Aliens guy.
But I do not. Obviously, she did not have an initiation ceremony, but she just had a cult following. I think that is a better way to put it. Now, but what's funny is, what's more fucking crazy or dangerous?
How Chinese you just sounded. What funny is?
Great. I'm getting canceled. What's crazier, a online cult following or an actual cult following? You know, people who come to the compound. What's worse? What do you think is worse?
These squirrels fucking. I mean, at least in person, you're in person. I would find it much harder to believe that somebody could get me to like blindly follow them online. Past just like scrolling through their memes.
I mean, we can't get 6 followers on fucking live stream anymore.
You can't get any on Instagram because we're still shadow banned.
But I think it's kind of scary. I think I'm not saying something I haven't said before. If you are in a cult, you're a bit of a pussy. To a certain extent. Or at least, and not to be mean, but
they have a knack for catching you at the perfect time in
you
your life.
have some issues beyond your own control, probably some mental or emotional scarring that leads you down that, makes you more open to that.
Oh, yeah.
But to have that following online,
right?
I
feel like it's easier.
But I think it's scary or more dangerous for somebody to dive down that rabbit hole virtually. I don't know what the fuck those squirrels are doing. Because basically,
it works every time.
basically, you know, the normal cult is more, they're physically holding you hostage. To where an online is more, they're mentally holding you hostage.
Yeah, but think about the people you're dealing with online. Anybody who spends that much time online is probably already a easily led individual anyway.
Right. You have to be very susceptible to
anything.
I could never be a part of a cult.
I left my air conditioner on. Fuck. What?
Jesus Christ, that thing's loud.
It'll stop.
But
it will. It's quick and effective.
I forgot what I was saying. Fuck. Damn it, air conditioners. But it's very creepy that somebody can be that. I've always said that for you to be in a cult, I could never be in a cult because, let me rephrase this, I could never be in a cult because I question shit too much. And if somebody says to me, this is how it is, I'm immediately going to say, are you sure about that, motherfucker?
Right.
And this is my problem with religion to a certain extent.
Like that fucking TikTok temple that everybody's you sure about that?
I mean, I'm fairly confident in that there is a higher power in the universe. Whether you want to call it God or whatever. Energy, whatever it is.
Warner Brothers Studios.
There is an cosmic order to the universe. Whether something created something. But when you say you can't, when you start putting rules on it, that this said energy or this said entity tells you to do this, you can't eat meat on Friday. Go fuck yourself.
Eat a dick.
Suck all the penises.
You know how many Catholic people still eat meat on Fridays during Lent? A lot. And also, what the fuck is the difference if you eat a fish sandwich? Why is it okay to eat fish and shrimp and shit? When, in fact, if you, correct me if I'm wrong, if you follow the Bible by, like, word for word, isn't it a sin to eat fucking shellfish? That's not just a Jewish thing. I'm pretty sure that's in the Bible.
I think this is where things get interpreted, the interpretation of ancient religious thinking. You know, pork.
Mm-hmm.
They're not supposed to eat pork. However, there might be a logical reason for that. Pork is actually hard to cook to where it's safe, correct?
Mhm.
You are a chef-ish.
Because they're filthy animals.
Right. You have to prepare pork. Take extra caution, correct?
Yeah. I mean,
and in ancient times,
not really. Like, you do, but you don't. Like, there's a temperature you have to hit.
right.
But
In ancient times, they were less knowledgeable in preparation of said meat.
Mhm.
So there was probably a lot of things going on, a lot of sickness. So they took that as the big guy upstairs or big woman upstairs, whatever you want to, whichever gender you want to go with.
The Zimzer in the sky.
They took that as maybe they don't want us to eat that. But when it's actually just because they did not know how to prepare it and they read into it as it was God striking them down because they were eating this. That's probably a more logical explanation for it.
Oh, don't forget you can beat your wife if she disobeys you too.
Well, I agree with that one.
No, you don't.
Anyway, but so I have a problem with anybody that says this is the way it is. Because you and I both know, and we've talked about this on this podcast on several occasions, life isn't black and white. It's shades of gray.
50 of them, to be exact.
Yeah.
That's what they were. That's the part that he left out about his fucking college hazing story was the 50 Shades of Grey shit that was going on.
Oh, I will say it. Daddy had a good time in college.
Fell in love with a couple young boys.
Daddy had a good time in high school too. So it
just like
matter.
fucking. Did you see that Charles Barkley shit?
No.
Oh my god, he was on whatever it is, NBA, whatever the fuck, and he was like them young boys coming, and like it was so funny. You actually like they zoom out and you actually see Shaq over on the other side of the table, like he just takes a drink of his drink. It just doesn't say shit.
Yeah. Well, you gotta love Shaq. Now, but that's my problem with. I have a hard time submitting to anybody. Like you were talking about earlier, I almost am half tempted. If I was independently wealthy, I would kind of go undercover into some cults.
I would start one.
Oh, I'd love to be a cult leader. That's free pussy.
Not even because of that. I would start one just to get to a certain point and then be like, you guys are fucking idiots. Get out of my compound.
But, I think it would. I'm surprised somebody hasn't infiltrated cults or even Scientology just to get inside, detonate a grenade. I think they're just right outside the door. Actually.
It's so distracting. Did you see about Bruce Willis? Random. Officially got a type of dementia now.
Sad day. Sad day. No more diehards. The greatest Christmas movie of all time.
I'm just waiting. He's going to be all over the news. He's going to end up just walking around like with his dick out because he's got dementia. And he's like, they're like, when interviewed, all Mr. Willis had to say was "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers." That's all I can think of is just like naked Bruce Willis walking around in a dementia fog, just screaming "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers."
I will say that might be one of the greatest lines of all movies in movie history,
especially for not that good of a movie. I'm sorry, Die Hard. Like I like Die Hard, but it wasn't that good of a movie.
It was
on par with the 80s action flicks.
Right.
Because 80s action flicks were not good. They're just good. You know what I mean?
Right. They're not
like you love
great.
them, but they're not good movies.
They're not great.
Exactly. Look at all the Rockies except for the first one.
But for a Christmas movie, it was great.
Yes, because it's a Christmas movie.
If Home Alone is a Christmas movie, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Predator might be the top tier 80s action movie. Not because of acting, just because like they did a pretty good job with that little invisibility cloaking thing that the Predator had.
And Predator's a perfect example of how the original, you can't beat the original.
You're an ugly motherfucker.
Because the
second one was so bad.
Was the second one in L.A. with Gary Busey, or was that the third one?
I don't even remember. Neither of them were good.
I'm just saying anything after.
Well, then the reboots were okay. Like some of the reboots were all right.
They were average. I mean, but they still could not top.
Like Alien vs. Predator was kind of cool.
Well, because that was something different.
Yeah, that was just like a fighting game in a movie. That was just, that's just like Freddy vs. Jason. I love Freddy vs. Jason not as a horror movie, but as an action movie. You get to see Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Predator was it went downhill. Now, I will give you
Gary Busey was the second one, apparently. That's a fucking psycho motherfucker. Is he still alive?
Yes, he's
Old
still alive.
Horse teeth?
Yes. Wear a fucking helmet.
Did you see him when he was on fucking, what was it, Celebrity Rehab?
No, I don't think I ever really watched
Or some shit like that. Oh my God, he was on there and he's just walking around. Teeth all out and shit.
Yes, but that was a horrible movie. The LA one with, I think Danny Glover was in that one too. Oh God, it was fucking horrible.
I don't know. I just enjoyed Alien vs. Predator. You go to a fucking subterranean Antarctic fucking pyramid and then Predator and Alien start going at it. Right. Fighting, of course. Not going at it like you and the boys on the practice field back in 86. Or whatever fucking year.
It would be 92, thank you.
That was pretty close. I didn't go over, so I still get the prize, Bob.
No, but
Bob Barker, he's dead, right?
No, Bob Barker's still alive.
How the fuck is Bob Barker still
90
alive?
90 some odd years old. I think I just heard that this week or last week or something.
Does he still fucking provide the slippers and shit for people in prison?
Did not know he even did that at all.
I think he did in the state of Ohio or some shit.
Sweet. All right, let's get back on track. Let's get into Sherrie Shiner's early life. Sherrie Shiner was originally named Sherrie Colberly, I believe, and she was born on December 11th, 1965 in Cleveland, Ohio.
Bad start.
Yeah, we're fucked now. The family was raised in a historically conservative town of Chesterland, Ohio, raised with a Christian Baptist background. During her youth in the town of Chesterland, this town was very strict. Literally like the real world town in Footloose. No movies, no dancing, that kind of shit.
Footloose, yet another shitty 80s movie that everybody loves for some reason. Also kind of culty.
Yes.
Like it's just waiting for somebody to walk up and be like, one of us. One of us.
Yeah. Now, Shiner has written several books that can be found on Amazon, I believe. Maybe. I don't know if they're still there. But according to her author bio on Amazon, she attended Kent State and graduated in 1990 with a degree in journalism, political science, and criminal justice.
Well, at least she wasn't there at the time.
However, this is all bullshit. It was a complete lie. Apparently, Sherrie actually attended Liberty University starting in 1984. Now, Liberty University is a religious university started by the evangelist Jerry Falwell Sr. We all have heard of Jerry Falwell. But he's
Jerry Springer died.
I did hear that. That's sad.
Oh, no, that just made me think of it.
You know, but here's the thing about Jerry Springer.
That people forget that he was a politician in the state of Ohio.
And he wrote a hooker a check.
Yeah.
That was what he was famous for, being the mayor of Cincinnati.
Fucking
and
idiot.
while a mayor in Cincinnati, he wrote a hooker a check.
You think he had her turn around so he could sign it on her back and shit?
Jesus. That's what made him famous.
Yeah. And then
he got the Springer Show. That is why he didn't get a real fucking show. He got the Jerry Springer Show, which was a clusterfuck.
In the best way.
Exactly. Beautiful. It's like a car wreck. It's like watching a car wreck or
And then
driving by a car wreck.
And then it birthed another one we all fell in love with, Maury, which is Springer Light.
Yes.
Or Steve Wilkos after Jerry Springer went off the air.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Steve Wilkos show. That big fucking, he looks like Lars from fucking Goonies.
Yeah. But
Why you hear your wife?
then we turn to Jerry the Judge. Wasn't that what he was doing here lately? Had a
Some shit
Judge
like that.
Judy type show.
Yeah, I never watched it, but I think so.
Yes, but people forget that he wrote a hooker a check as the mayor of Cincinnati.
Or that super anti-Semitic shit that got said to him by the neo-Nazi or whatever, the KKK guy on that one episode. Called him like a hook-nosed Jew and shit, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure he got into a fight with the dude on the stage.
Really?
And I was like, good for you, Jerry. Jerry. I'm pretty sure that was before the Jerry beads and all that shit.
Right. Now, Liberty University, like I said, was started in 1971 by Jerry Falwell Sr. Liberty University is one of the largest Christian schools in the world, and it is the largest nonprofit Christian university in the United States. I think they recruited me too. But I think they have a football team they recruited.
Yeah, they're nonprofit, just like I'm a healthy
Right.
individual.
Now, apparently, Sherry's lifelong dream was to become
To start a berry company?
No, to get into news broadcasting, and she focused her studies around this goal. She wrote for the school newspaper, worked at the university radio station, and after leaving or graduating Liberty University, she tried to land her dream job at CNN.
All I keep thinking of when you say the name of this university is that fucking, is it Liberty Mutual? Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Now, to nobody's surprise, Sherrie was very upset when CNN said, "Pound sand, bitch. You're too crazy." And if you listen to her talk,
I feel like CNN, I feel like this isn't true, but like any good news outlet shouldn't be like skyrocketing people from a religious college to the top of their application program.
well, I think religious, like most, I went to a Catholic college for a year. You know, it's technically a religious school.
Is that where they made you get naked?
Yes, pretty much.
Shocker.
Right.
How many of the guys that watched you run around naked were in line to be priestesses?
Hey, my college advisor was a priest, and apparently he did.
How many times did he make you get naked?
No, he was actually pretty cool. Apparently he did an exorcism.
Sweet.
And the story is that he was jet white hair. And the story is his hair went white after the exorcism. And the room that it happened in was boarded up.
We should find where that is.
They closed the school down. Anyway.
That's still probably there. Oh, he did it at the school?
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
That seems like a conflict of interest.
Yes. Okay, but after this rejection, she did not take the rejection from CNN very well.
Can you tutor me after class? Sorry, I got a 3:30 appointment I really can't miss.
Anyway, where was I? Oh, so CNN rejected her. She did not take this well. This is where she begins to show her crazy. She was sure that CNN would not hire her because she wouldn't play ball, and basically she felt that they did not hire her because she would not partake in satanic rituals. She was convinced that the entire entertainment industry was full of Satanist and satanic rituals.
I mean, to an extent, without the same verbiage, I don't fully disagree, but can we just assume that this lady has like schizophrenia or something like that, and she just kind of formulated these ideas because they didn't hire her?
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
And they were boundless fucking accusations?
I'm thinking you're hitting the nail pretty fucking flush on the head.
It's crazy for somebody who spews as much stupid shit as I do. Sometimes that actually makes sense.
Yeah. But this becomes kind of a theme in her years to come. She is convinced that the entertainment industry, which is a common thought in conspiracy land, especially if you go down those conspiracy rabbit holes on YouTube, that most celebrities are into satanic, which we all know. I hate the word satanic, but I'd rather use the occult, which, if you look at the definition of occult, even religion is part of the occult.
Bad stuff. We'll just go with bad stuff.
But there's a lot of ceremonial magic going on in Hollywood. And she views this as Satanism.
Like the B.O.B. song?
Which I do not necessarily disagree with the occult ritual magic going on in Hollywood. But I don't necessarily think it's...
Like, as in you think it's going on, or you're cool with it?
I'm okay with it because manifestation, theoretically, manifestation, we've talked about manifestation, is a ritual magic spell type thing. Well, I mean, prayer is the same thing.
It's the whole thing of like, it's just like how the CNN was the fucking devil because they didn't hire her.
Right.
If you don't go along with something that somebody says, it's bad and it's fucking stigmatized.
Right. But
honestly, if they put out at least a couple banger films a year, keep doing your rituals. Just don't fucking kill kids or women or anything like that. Just leave that alone.
No, but I'm fully aware, and I'm probably okay with if celebrities are doing ritual fucking magic, so be it.
Right? What do I give a fuck if Mickey Rourke is down in a basement of a fucking dive bar somewhere with like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Ice Cube's son, and fucking Keanu Reeves like I don't give a fuck. Well, it's Mickey Rourke. Oh, speaking of, I watched The Whale finally.
Oh, good. Was it good?
Dude, the first fucking scene, I was like by the time the first scene started to wind down, I was like, what the fuck? I just want to fucking like, yeah, no, it was good. I'm upset that I rented it instead of buying it.
But my whole issue with this, I'm okay with the fucking occult. If people want to do ritual fucking magic.
It's a fuck. It's no different than, in my opinion.
It's no different than prayer.
I was going to say, in my opinion, it's no different than all those people that like risk shitty driving conditions to go to fucking mass for Christmas.
And religion, like Wicca. A Wiccan.
Like the furniture out front?
Yes.
Okay.
But they have rituals. It's pagan. And
like what my Nike Dry Fit clothes do for me?
Yes.
They'd be Wiccan.
They have fucking rituals, and it's okay. And even look at the Catholic fucking religion. There's more ritual fucking magic going on in the Catholic on a Sunday in Mass than anything. It's eyes wide shut damn near.
And they be giving people wine and fucking Triscuits.
Yeah. So I'm okay with it. It's just people, especially religious people, look so down and think immediately if you're doing that on that end, you think it's Satanism. No, it's not Satanism. It's not.
It's just not what you're cool with.
And religious people who are fucking crazy, let's be honest, or fanatical is a better word, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They think if you're not with us, you're against us, and you're immediately everything's Satan.
I mean,
just like Bobby Boucher in Waterboy. Homework is the devil.
That girl is the devil.
Everything's the fucking devil.
You've been playing foosball behind my back with nobody leaving me home alone, with nobody keep me company except Steve.
But there is a lot of occult imagery in music, in like music videos. I think Pink has a video that has a so-called satanic high priestess in it, or what they say is whatever.
You're preaching to the choir here.
I mean,
you know the shit. You know a lot of the music.
Is it because Pink is a Satanist, or is it because the director thought it would look cool?
Right. Is it because it's edgy and that's what people want? And
if you look hard enough, you can see so-called satanic symbolism in fucking everything. Damn. That squirrel's getting crazy. I mean, people in the conspiracy world is...
Thank you for your cooperation.
The conspiracy... This is my problem with conspiracy theorists. They see the occult in fucking everything. And it's fucking mind-numbingly boring.
Why do squirrels kind of sound like evil witch in Fast Forward?
I don't know.
Just realize that.
Anyway, let me take a drink and we'll get back to Sherrie Shiner's early life.
This bitch.
This cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. Whack job. After CNN said...
Don't sully Cocoa Puffs with this lady.
After CNN obviously didn't want her because she wouldn't partake in satanic rituals,
dun, dun.
She moved back to her hometown. She got married to a gentleman by the name of Arch Raymond Shiner.
She really gave up on that one quick. Fuck, CNN didn't hire me. Fuck CBS, NBC, Fox News, CBS. Fuck all of them. I guess I'm going to just go marry a guy who's got the same name as Peyton Manning's nephew.
Now, Archie and her got married January 6th of 1991. They had she had 4 kids. I believe it was 4 kids with old Mr. Archie.
Do you have
Judd, Melanie. I don't even know what.
I'm assuming it's supposed to be Ike.
I think it was supposed to be Ike.
Or Luke.
I think it was Luke, actually. And Corey.
Judd.
This is basically all that's known about her past. Like I said.
For how long of a period of time?
I don't know. But her past is clouded in mystery, and she already lied on her bio, so about the Kent State shit. So who even fucking knows? Now, I do know she at least has one child named Melanie.
See, why the Kent State thing?
Well, it's close to Cleveland, so.
I understand that, but why Kent State specifically? Because it wouldn't, like, it wasn't even around the time where she could claim anything, try to take any intrigue from being a part of the Kent State situation.
Well, that was back in this.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, why Kent State? There's a lot of schools up there.
Well,
you didn't want to be a zipper?
That's Akron.
Toledo.
Toledo's on the other side.
Whatever the fuck Toledo is.
It's over.
What are they, the Rockets or some shit?
Yeah. I don't. Maybe she just liked Kent State. I don't know. Maybe she's a Superman fan.
I see what you did there.
Clark
Yeah,
Kent.
yeah.
You see what I did there? Nice. Anyway.
Nice.
Where was I at?
Oh, yeah, that made me think, too. Did you see fucking Bam Margera's going crazy again? He's, like, on the run.
Who?
Bam Margera. He's, like, off the bandwagon, or he's off the wagon on the run from the cops and shit with, like, some girlfriend and her daughter. Yeah. So he's got, like, a third-party child with him.
Is he white Bronco in it? What?
Dude, they don't know where he is. Like, he's threatening to fucking, like, he threatened to, like, shoot some people and, like, wanted to fight Johnny Knoxville bare knuckle and went after Steve-O because he did some work with Steve-O that Steve-O, I guess, paid him for, that he says he has paperwork to back up because he brought up to somebody about, like, all the boards that they sell from this point on for the collaboration with Bam and shit. Steve-O's idea was like, hey, Bam's doing all this shit, crazy shit, so why don't we take proceeds from that from this point on and send it to fund college and shit like that for Bam's son, Phoenix, which is fucking really cool of your friend to do something like that, especially when you've kind of burned some bridges. Then he calls Steve and he was like, how dare you? I'm like, get off your fucking high horse. Go, you fucking cockbag.
Well, that's what drugs do. Don't stay off drugs, kids.
I don't know why. It was the nice that made me think about that.
So, anyway, since Sherrie didn't land her dream job at working at the satanic CNN,
Dagnabbit,
she decided to start her own show on Blog Talk Radio. Now, this was...
So she's the fucking psycho version of the Young Turks.
Well, you got to remember, this is early 2000s. This is before podcast, essentially.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
Apple Podcast started. It's the start of the podcast.
Well, I mean, this isn't, speaking of the Young Turks, like, this isn't completely unheard of, because that happened with the guy from the Young Turks. He got hired on by whatever it was, Fox News or CNN or whatever it was, and he said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said, like, one thing that was, like, a little, not even off color, but, like, edgy, and then his time slot started to drop until he was on at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was like, fuck you guys, and he started the Young Turks online.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm going
just ignore
to poison them.
Ignore them.
It's easy for you to say. They're literally, like, right next to my head. It sounds
I can hear
like.
him.
You're gonna die.
Okay, so she had her own show on Blog Talk Radio. This was the start of her online cult leader career. She called herself on the show. It was basically about conspiracies, religion, all that kind of stuff. Just ignore. Listen to my voice, Travis.
It's like, I feel like there's like a fucking like squirrel drama going on behind us, and I kind of want to know what's going on.
I don't give a fuck what's going on about the squirrels.
Did you fuck the brown squirrel?
Oh, where was I? But
Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it that easy? Like, you just start talking about stuff, and then boom, you're an online cult leader.
Yeah. Well, we doing fucking wrong,
right? We need to say some more. We need to talk about Jesus and shit. Jesus saves.
Okay, so she called herself a seer, a prophet, an ambassador, and the daughter of God. So she's basically Jesus' sister.
Here we go.
Her and Jesus. Twins.
Twinsies. She's starting off fucking great. Like, she has already checked all of the fucking boxes for cult leader.
And it gets even crazier. She says she is a direct descendant from King David. She even says she is the granddaughter of King David. However, according to math, she could not, unless she was 2,200 some odd years old, she could not be the granddaughter of King David.
Yeah, well, I mean, or she's too old to be the granddaughter of King David. Because the only King David I know is King David Gunn from King 810.
Now, she hosted this weekly radio show on Blog Talk Radio.
Great.
She also had a YouTube channel called The Watcher Files, which,
kind of cool name.
Spoiler alert, is still up today.
Kind of a cool name.
The Watcher Files? Yeah.
A little
It's
bit.
still active. It hasn't been updated in 6 years.
How have they not pulled it down?
What?
How have they not shut it down?
Well, it is.
I'm just assuming with the road that we're probably going to go down here, because I don't know dick about this lady.
Probably because she didn't say nothing about COVID. And vaccination. So
Something that we never took
spoiler alert,
any...
she's dead. So she didn't.
Did she die of COVID?
No.
Fuck.
That would be cool. But it is still on. She has, apparently that channel has about, I looked at it and listened to a little bit of it, 4,000 followers.
So more than us.
Only 30 some odd videos, I believe.
130 something?
Only 130 some odd thousand views. So she was, I'm going to go out and say she did make a lot of money.
You never know.
But she tied religious philosophies and conspiracies together so nicely. She took the conspiracy world and made it religious. She pushed the concept of aliens and demons. She was big on that aliens or demons things, which we talked about in the past on previous episodes.
That's not that uncommon, really.
Which I get it. And I'm not. It depends on whether you think aliens are extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional. I think that's still up for debate, whether aliens, what we classify as aliens, are coming from rocky planets out in the universe or coming from another dimension. I think.
God, I got into that one last night, too.
I don't know.
Fucking galactic mathematics and shit like that. Like, oh, well, Michio Kaku was talking about how the universe is 13 billion years old and how if we made this much technological advancement in 1,000 years, then that's a drop in the water if you have a billion-year-old fucking population of somebody somewhere. And I'm like, but how the fuck do you know it's 13 billion? And then everybody's like, because it's because math is a universal language. Maybe in this fucking universe, motherfucker, they're like 2 + 2 is fucking 4, but then you go into the next dimension, they're like, what the fuck is 2?
I would see. I'm going to go on a limb and say I believe math is the one common denominator that would tie everything together.
The theoretical side of math, yeah.
Right. If you have 2 of one thing and you bring another 2 in, it's going to be 4.
Yeah, theoretically, yes.
Now,
but my whole thing is like, what
the leftists
our
will tell
our billion years could be 1 year in another an alternate universe. You know what I mean?
Time.
So I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Time
once you
is
get
a
to certain
construct
point.
that we invented, per se. Our versions of time.
Yeah, aren't we supposed to, isn't daylight savings time supposed to technically end sometime soon?
I don't know. But the concept of aliens and demons being the same thing, I don't. If you believe they are dimensional creature or entities coming to this dimension, okay. But I'm not.
See, but that would almost make more sense. That would almost, I could wrap my head around that falling under the angel demon thing even more.
No, but to say an alien coming from Phobos, isn't Phobos a moon of Jupiter?
I believe so.
If an alien, what?
I don't know. Do you need it?
I think I'm good.
Just being a good neighbor.
I think calling an alien from Phobos a demon is a bit stupid.
Especially considering that, from what I know, Titan is much more interesting.
Now,
there's oceans on Titan. I want to see some more research of that. Then we can be like, haha, aliens, look at that. Are they demons now? Yeah. Fuck.
Now, she is definitely a crazy conspiracy theorist that is a religious fanatic as well, which is a dangerous combination.
Check.
She's the type of conspiracy theorist that, the prototypical, when they coined the term conspiracy theorist, the government did it it got coined by the FBI and I think, the government with the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
To make these people, to talk bad about these people, so people will look down on people who thought against the government.
Mm-hmm.
So she is the poster child of that. Her thoughts and her rantings.
Kind of makes
she
sense.
She is the prototypical conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I mean, kind of rightfully so up to this point.
Now, let's get into some of her conspiratorial beliefs.
Oh, here we go.
She believes that there are satanic reptilian aliens running the world.
Fact.
America was created... Uh-oh. 5-0 is...
Get him.
Going, baby. Where was I?
Yeah, he's running. Oh, he's running.
Yep. America was created by Satan.
Oh, fuck. We're both parked out there.
Oh, shit. But Satan created America as his little home base.
What the fuck? Please tell me you have some type of fucking thing to back that up. Why America?
Of course not.
Or is it because you lived in America, you fucking dumb idiot, and you were just like, nobody gives me what I want. They're evil.
Now, if she is correct in Satan set up shop, created America and set up shop, definitely Cleveland is his home base.
Yeah. Or Detroit.
Or Indianapolis. One of those two.
There's one of those.
one of those two. Going back to my college days, jerking off air.
It's the white girl dance. White girls that don't know how to dance, you just give two hand jobs to the rhythm of the song.
Now, where she takes it even further. She goes 2 steps past. She does the do-si-do over this fucking conspiracy theorist. She takes it to the next level by combining the demonic reptilian aliens with the ever-popular New World Order. Not the Kevin Nash and Scott Hulk Hogan New World Order.
I mean, that's not uncommon either, though.
Well, New World Order has really theoretically nothing to do. She got the ball rolling on this. Has nothing to do with aliens or reptilians.
Oh, are you saying that this was the
catalyst.
amoeba that became the evolutionary chain of that theory?
Right. New World Order is just a thought of a small group of elites want to control a one world government, essentially. And it's controlled by a small group of elites that basically want to run everything.
And they're all lizards.
She says they're all lizard reptilians. However, like the New World Order, I'm fully convinced. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory.
No.
There is a group of high-profile, highly powerful elites that get together in, Davos? That's where the elites get together?
Oh, well, if you follow the Bilderberg group, they do it in different places.
Yeah, they do it all that's where agendas are made.
Yeah.
People get together. Powerful people get together and kind of plot out society, essentially.
Yeah.
I think the New World Order is fucking here, kids.
Yeah,
I think it's been here for a while.
I think call me crazy. I think it's been here since the formation of the power structure of the Christio-Catholic religious system.
Maybe
my microphone's attached to this, so I can't drop it.
Maybe the Catholic Church was the original New World Order.
Just look at how they fucking down and dog everything. Just look at, if you talk to a fucking a Catholic priest in 1700, he would tell you about how, Hindu people from the country of India are, savages and they're ungodly and da-da-da. Motherfucker, the Hindu religion was around thousands of years before your bullshit religion was, so eat a dick. Who the fuck are you to gatekeep now? Just because you had all the money.
Right. Now, like we just said, we both believe, I believe the New World Order has been around for years, and the world is basically ran by a small group, or a group of people, a powerful people. Now, there's probably interchangeable parts. People come in and out of the group, but agendas are set. Now, the conspiracy theorists like to take it one step further, and let me go back a little bit. At some point, we might have a one world government. At some point,
I think we're working towards it.
at least a one world currency. I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
Now, it might not be in my lifetime. Let's face it.
Or well, I will say I don't know if we're gonna ever reach the point of one singular government.
I would not.
But I think there will be like umbrella governments.
I look at it like the United States. We have the federal government and then state government and then local government, right?
You think it's just gonna be a division of power amongst?
Right. You're still going to have, say, there's going to be, if for us here in the U.S., the federal government, top of the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the next level, there's going to be another stone on top of it, the one world government, which report the federal government, the United States federal government, and all other governments report to that.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's called, I don't know, NATO?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not that far-fetched. This isn't a conspiracy theory.
The UNICEF.
And let's be honest.
Amazon.
Yes. Let's be honest, with the monetary system breaking down as we fucking speak every day.
Yeah.
We are going to a
specifically
digital-based currency.
Yeah, specifically ours, and I say that because that's the one that affects us. So.
Well, I think it's going to be every.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that the financial issue of the value of the dollar is more important than anywhere else, but I don't have to worry about anywhere else, so I don't really think about it.
Right. So, I don't think it's that far-fetched. I don't think it's a big, crazy conspiracy. I think to a certain extent we're already there.
Yeah.
And especially with the invention of the internet, we are connected. Who knows who we are reaching right now live.
Yeah, like that night we had that conversation about Oreos or Reese's with that guy from Chile.
Right, and we've verbally spoken with people in the chat from England.
I want to get some more Australian people in here.
So with how connected the world, the planet is, it's not that fucking hard. We are heading toward that.
Yeah.
Now, the problem you get into is freedoms. That's where shit gets dicey.
All you got to do is listen to the soundtrack from Team America, the South Park's creators movie. Freedom isn't free. It costs folks like you and me. Apparently, freedom costs $1.05, according to that song.
Okay, where was it? Now, like we spoke a little bit earlier, she fully believed that the elites are basically reptilians. This is where she gets crazy. This is where I'm going to separate myself from
This is where she has laid her name in the annals of conspiracy theorist history as starting this shit.
Well, I don't know if she started, but she was a big...
Well, clearly she had a hand in it.
She was one of the OGs. I don't know exactly.
She's the Suge Knight of reptilians.
I don't know when the reptilian agenda popped up. I'm sure it's probably been around for much longer.
Since they landed.
She picked the ball up and ran with it. But she, like I said earlier, she believes Hollywood basically is full of reptilians.
Believable if they're real.
All the powerful elites, secret societies,
Skull and Bones.
So apparently, the Masons are all fucking reptilians.
We've had this conversation. I do believe that if they're like I do believe that the Freemasons, not as a entire group, but I definitely think that there's probably still some actively involved in it that do have their hands on some type of secrets.
We kind of covered this in a Patreon episode. Full disclosure, for those of you who don't know or listen, I technically was. Mm-hmm. Technically, I guess I still am. I've just been suspended.
Because you haven't paid up.
Because I haven't paid my dues. A Freemason.
Yeah.
And it's the Freemasons.
Why do they wait? If you get suspended, if you don't pay them, then why are they the Freemasons?
Apparently not.
The paid Masons.
The paid Masons. Now, and we covered this. If the Freemasons were if some of the shit, the conspiracy theories about the Freemasons was true, I definitely would have paid my dues.
Right.
I mean, there was sounded like it was a party. Wasn't that way.
Right.
But my theory on this is, yes, there are Freemasons that have secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of powerful people that are government officials across the globe.
Well, I mean, it's the same.
Are Freemasons.
It's the same thing if you really look at it. It's the same thing like with religions or government, period. If you have a Kim Jong-un, that's all you got. That's all you got going on. You know where it starts. You know where it ends. You throw in massive religion. You throw in Freemasons with a crazy number. I wouldn't even venture to guess how many members are in the Freemasons.
I mean, it's probably declining.
Yeah, but it's still in the millions and millions, probably
yeah.
tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. You add all those numbers, you muddy the waters on who, if somebody wants to go find who knows what or who said this or da-da-da-da-da. You're just, I mean, pretty much you're dropping a weed plant in the middle of a 10,000 acre cornfield.
You know, I've always said, yes, with all the previous presidents, there are a lot of Masons that have top secret clearance.
Yeah.
So people,
they just happen to be Masons is
exactly.
The thing. You know what I'm saying? So like
they are people that know things that are Masons. It's not because they know things because they are Masons.
Exactly. It's the devil you know.
Right.
Literally, like if you will. It's just like all cops are bastards because one cop killed a black dude.
Right.
That cop's a piece of shit, and there's probably a lot of other piece of shit cops. But you don't crucify a whole population for the misdeeds of a small portion of it.
Yeah, it's like
I should, like, fucking every other race that's ever been in America should be fucking going, like, black Americans should be out fucking mobbing white people and giving them some comeuppance for how they got treated in the past. It doesn't work like that. And it just doesn't.
I put it like this. How can I put this?
How can I put this without being racist?
No, right. I mean, there are bad people. Here's a better way to put it. The rumor is, and people will say, "Oh, the Freemasons know where the Holy Grail is, or what the Holy Grail is." Mm-hmm. I'd be willing to bet there is a Freemason somewhere that actually knows the answer to that fucking question.
Probably.
Not because they are Freemasons, or not because the Freemasons have that buried in the fucking basement. It's because they have the knowledge.
Well, and again, if it is attached to strictly their Freemason membership, that's an aspect in a class of Freemasonry that 99.9% of the people who are members of that society don't know about.
Right.
If there's 100 million of them, I'd say probably 100 maybe actually have those secrets. And whether or not it's attached to the Freemasons, that's up in the air. I could see it being a thing, but that doesn't have to do with the dude that lives down the street and has a fucking a remodeling business that is a Freemason. Yeah, it has nothing to do with it. It's two different sides of the same coin.
Yeah. The bottom line is the Freemasons have its power because of the people who are Freemasons. Those people did not get their power because they were Freemasons. They were Freemasons that have power.
Yeah.
You know that's the best way to say it.
Well, yeah, and I feel like that falls into the same category. If there are people who, because they're Freemasons, have this certain thing, it's in a company that none of us are gonna ever know about, and nobody within that group is ever gonna fucking know about it.
Right.
That's like it's the division of power and secrecy. Well, I'm not saying that this is a fact, but like I'm just saying if anything like that is factual, most of the members of it are not going to know about it. Most of the public is not going to know about it. Just like fucking the Catholic Church doesn't know if the Pope is just fucking little boys left and right up in his Pope room and sucking their tongues and shit. Well, that's the Dalai Lama. But either way, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to hear about that shit. Unless they want the Pope gone, you're not going to hear about that shit.
Well, people, the conspiracy theorists will, like what I just said, they will say, but you just weren't indoctrinated. You just didn't get access to that. You weren't high enough up.
Yeah, okay, but...
Because you talk about the 33 degrees, the 33rd. Yeah. Here's the thing. People will say, Phil, you just weren't high enough. You didn't get to that level. Fuck you, bitches. That was a 32nd degree fucking Mason.
Right.
Fuck off. And guess what? You don't understand how the system works. It's not that fucking hard to become a 32nd degree fucking Mason.
Phil did it.
I did it, and I'm a fucking idiot. And I didn't pay those. That's just more dues that I wasn't going to pay.
Right.
And the 33rd degree is not. Maybe I'm wrong. From what my understanding is, let's just say when I did become a 33rd or 32nd degree Mason, they didn't take me down to a golden vault and give me all the fucking secrets.
Right.
I apparently got to be a 33rd.
They didn't fucking stab a virgin with a gilded dagger.
And make me drink the blood. No,
Yeah.
it didn't fucking happen. And 33rd degree Mason is nothing but like a lifetime achievement award.
You're like the Snoop Dogg of Freemasons.
It's like that Oscar at the Oscars. The
lifetime
achievement award. That's all it is. It's not because it's another level. And people don't understand. There are different 32nd degrees.
Mm-hmm.
32nd, the 33rd and 32nd are divine to the Scottish Rite version of it. Okay? There's another branch that's, it's not, I forget what, the York Rite, which is the same thing, just a different branch. It's the same thing. And
sounds like a street gang kind
there's
of
like
thing.
32 degrees of that. It's like college almost. It's like
you have a minor
this is Yale,
and
this
a
is
major.
Harvard. This is Yale, this is Harvard kind of thing. And people talk about the highest level of masonry being the 32nd or 33rd. Here's the thing, kind of on par, Shriners. You are aware Shriners are Freemasons.
Mm-hmm.
You have to either have, to be a Shriner at the time, I don't think it might not be that way now. You either had to be a 32nd degree Mason of your Scottish Rite or whatever the top of the York Rite is. I didn't do the York Rite, so I don't know.
Was it like the York Rite's for pussies?
No, it's
that's more like
it's
the
the same
millennial
fucking
Generation Z thing.
It's the same thing. It's just more British. Basically all it is. But you had to have one of those. You had to have your you had to have your 3rd degree Mason, which is general masonry. 3 degrees. 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree.
Drywall, stuff like that.
Then to become a Shriner, you had to either have your York Rite or your Scottish Rite to become a Shriner.
And a tiny car.
Full disclosure, guess what? I was a fucking Shriner too.
Did you ever get to drive the tiny car?
No, I did not get to drive the tiny car.
Then you're not real. You're not a real one.
I could have. But they wanted more dues, and I said, fuck you too.
Being a dick, unless I'm delivering, if I'm going if I'm going to be a Shriner member, I'll pay dues when we jump in a van together and we go down and our dues go directly into the donation box at the Shriners Hospital, you fuck.
And that is a beautiful thing that is what Freemasonry is about. Right there. It's not about power. It's not about world domination. It's about the Shriners Hospital. That's what Freemasonry is about. No, that's what it's always been about.
There was not always a Shriners Hospital.
Well, but Freemasonry
what
is
was
about
it about
that.
before that?
Freemasonry is about making a better fucking community. Becoming a better person to make a better fucking community.
So it's like
and giving back to the community. That's what Freemasonry is honestly
so
about.
it's like a community watch program with a superiority complex.
Kind of. I will give you that. Because the Shriner, I fucking cried like a baby because I went through the Shriners initiation.
Yeah, you told me about that. That's a big nope for me.
They took my class, group to the Shriners Hospital for a tour.
They Patch Adams did?
I fucking left out there crying like a motherfucking baby. I couldn't deal with it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've always thought about like going and fucking like reading books at children's hospitals and shit. I don't think I could do it. And I don't even have kids.
Well, I mean,
I couldn't imagine if I did have kids.
It's beautiful work, and I love them for doing it. But
I just don't want to be physically there.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I can handle a lot. But
until you start hurting babies.
Or you're seeing kids deform, kids with deformities, with major issues. That
at least you went with the good aspect and you cried instead of being like, oh yeah, what the fuck is that thing?
And the burn victims is the worst. Oh, and it's like in those fucking, there's those people with the Sarah McLachlan dog ASPA or whatever fucking dog commercial.
ASPCA.
Yeah, that thing. You know, with the heart of
With
an
the
angel, the arms of an angel. You know, that the little dog shivering in the cold. Put down the camera, get the dog out of the fucking snow. But that's an argument for a different day.
Right.
Those other commercials with the kids.
Oh my god.
The other hospitals, those get me more
I was
than
thinking
the
of that
fucking
the
dogs.
little African kids from back in the early 2000s.
With Sally Struthers.
where they're like, no, the one dude with the beard where he was like, Ndukwe hasn't eaten in 3 weeks, while he's sitting on my fat fucking lap because I'm well fed as shit.
Oh fuck. Anyway, okay. So she thought all the secret societies after that rant were reptilians, the powerful political elite were reptilians.
Mm-hmm.
The Bushes, the Clintons. There are those that believe the royal family are all reptilians.
Yeah.
Of course, didn't the late Queen? Didn't she say she was? I think she said she was actually related to Muhammad. I think, yeah. Of course, they're all the royal families were all fucking related. They were all cousins. All the World Wars, World War I was just a family feud.
I don't know. The Queen was a flabbergasting situation.
But the conspiracy theorists believe they're all fucking reptilians. That's just what they believe. Now, what do you think about aliens? How far-fetched do you think that is? That there are aliens walking among us,
That's right.
disguised as us, or in a human disguise. Do you think that?
What do you think?
What do you think, Squirrels? Do you think that's even possible? Do you think that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any more outlandish than anything else.
I mean, I guess it could be. There could be.
I'm like Kevin Garnett, man. Anything is possible.
I don't know. I do not think it's likely, but I guess there is a percentage.
Well, because I think we've had this conversation. There's one of two ways that I look at this. Either the alien encounters that we think we have are bullshit because why would they want to be here if they're that advanced? Or they've been here as long as history has been recorded and probably longer. Squirrel agrees.
That's our audience, damn it. We got a live in studio audience.
I like it.
Squirrels.
But like,
I wonder if the mics are picking that up.
I hope.
That would be hilarious.
But yeah, like, especially because like, it's a it's a legitimate part of theories for a lot of things that I believe in anyway.
Right.
Like the reformation of society and technology over generations.
Yeah, but that's going to happen anyway.
Well, yeah, but
That's called growth.
yeah, but like, I don't know. And that's the other thing is like, we could say that aliens were here the whole time, but for all we know, they're also just another species that just no longer exists. Or maybe they started here and then they left.
Or they moved to the bottom of the ocean to get away from our crazy.
Or Hollow Earth.
Very
Because I
nice.
say all the time, if I had to pull something out, if I had to pull a rabbit out of the hat and tell you that this thing is on Earth and it is an alien, guess what it is? Octopuses. And yes, it is octopuses. It is not octopi. True story. We were all taught wrong.
Isn't octopi just the octopus's vagina?
It is now.
Okay.
I've said that for years. If aliens are here, if aliens are currently on Earth and it's something we know about, it's fucking octopuses. Think about it. Like, look at those fucking things. They're weird as fuck. They're smart as shit. Like, you can drop a fish in a goddamn jar in their tank and they'll go, oh, let me open this. But then again, like, we underestimate the intelligence of everything. Like, we think we're all fucking just this great fucking species, and we're really not. So I think part of what makes all this shit so crazy, not saying that I agree with it, is the fact that it's hard for us to accept that there might be something fucking smarter than us.
It just doesn't have opposable thumbs and can't build fire.
Which doesn't even fucking matter, really. Look at what was it? The video of that, I think it was a magpie, the bird, that was drinking out of a bottle of water in the park or some shit, and it drank more than its beak could reach, so it started putting rocks in it and displacing the water so it could keep drinking it. You know who wouldn't think to do that?
A human being.
95% of human beings.
Because we don't teach problem solving in school anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but alien technology is such a fucking far-fetched thing.
Right.
And they're like, where's the evidence? Motherfucker, do you know what the world does to things over time?
The main thing that separated us was, yes, the ability to pick things up and use tools.
And cooking food.
And really what set us apart or set us down the path of leadership, for lack of a better word.
Righteousness.
Communication. We easily communicate compared to other animals. I mean, do we though? Dolphins do have and whales do have a vocabulary. I know one of those at least have a vocabulary. I think
animals in general do. If you think about
it. But it's not there is communication, but it's not, the vocabulary isn't as vast as what we have.
That doesn't have any weight to me though, because like that's just us. That's just our minds being able to wrap around what we know. It's just like all the studies with the hippocampus. They've been able to teach a mouse something and then basically record and download that learned behavior from their hippocampus and then like upload it into the brain of another mouse that then was capable of executing that learned behavior.
You know, probably what honestly set us apart from the animal kingdom, which I hate to say that we are animals, is our ruthlessness,
because the brain thing is bullshit too.
Our lack of empathy at times.
Yeah.
We will kill something.
Which so will animals.
Yes, but there might... this is just me spitballing here. We will kill each other. To where, like, a lot of animals are pack animals. And outside that pack, they will do something to where we will backstab each other, even within our own family.
Yeah.
So we are a little bit more ruthless than maybe the animal kingdom, which it doesn't appear that with how the animal kingdom, you wouldn't think that with watching, the Serengeti, lions.
Well, they just show it's exciting. But other theory, our power of free thinking and free will had over the years backfired on us, and all of us have this underlying God complex to an extent.
We think we are the top of the food chain.
And we're not.
We're not even close to the top of the food chain.
We're just smart.
Go to the Arctic Circle and come face to face with a fucking polar bear.
Right?
I guarantee you one thing, the fucker ain't got a Coke.
No.
He's going to open you up like a fucking tin can.
Yeah. And and then the computing power of the brain thing is what's interesting to me, because the brain, everybody was like, well, our brains are bigger than, by comparison, than most animals. We're not the top of that.
No, we don't have the biggest brains.
No. Like, well, even if you break it down per body weight, like for average body weight, we still don't. Could it have something to do with the crevices and cracks in our brain? Yes, because scientifically that's been proven that the rougher the surface of a brain looks, usually the more computing capability it has for memory and stuff like that.
Basically, you're telling me my brain looks like a cue ball.
Well, it's like koala bears. Koala bears' brains look very smooth if you crack their head open, and they're dumb as shit.
Could that be due to the syphilis?
It might be.
Okay.
But like that's why smooth brain is an actual term.
Really?
Yeah, like especially in the gaming community, they'll be like, "That was smooth brain." When when you do something stupid. Yeah.
I was not aware of this. I'm learning something here.
Yeah, like a koala bear's brain looks much smoother than ours, and like they will literally just fall out of trees
So
for
basically,
absolutely
my
no
brain
reason.
looks like a fucking bowling ball, smooth with 3 fucking holes.
And the 2 of them are from the stroke.
Yes, I've seen my brain via MRIs with the blockage. I do have crevices.
Excellent. That just turned into a whole tangent.
It did. Anyway,
Where were we?
Something about secret societies and reptilians. Basically,
We always go off the handle
Sherrie,
or off the fucking range when we start talking about fucking Freemasons.
Yeah,
because
we're an hour and a half into this podcast and we aren't even halfway through the.
That went
notes.
from Freemasonry to fucking.
Why is?
What was that? What the fuck?
Why are you calling me on during a podcast? Should I answer it?
No.
I'm not answering. Text it to me.
Unacceptable.
You know I'm on a podcast. Do not call.
The only reason I answered
If
Gonzo's
I
call
call,
was,
if I answer, you call one more time. I'm putting you on speakerphone.
the only reason I answered Gonzo's call a couple weeks ago is because it was comedically somewhat racist.
Right.
And I knew it was going to be. Go on.
Where was I? Oh, anyway. According to Sherrie Shiner, the reptilians, aliens, basically their goal in the secret society people, the elites, their goal, the one world government, their goal is to enslave humanity. Which, not uncommon. That is a well-versed thought in
but that was a thing before this bitch came along. Y'all are really having some fucking marital issues back there, aren't you? Fuck.
Okay. She thinks all the stars and powerful politicians not necessarily are the reptilians, but she firmly believes. Oh, where was I at?
She firmly believes reptilians, politicians, all that shit.
Hold on a minute. She firmly believes that most people in Hollywood, for lack of a better term, and I'll dive into this a little bit more, have sold their soul to the devil. And I'm not, that's just a term that I'm using, but not really the devil per se.
Yeah, which still is a recycled idea.
Basically, she explains it like this. They were soul scalped. Okay? Which, I mean, I give her credit. She's creative. My brain is...
Is soul scalped her terminology?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm having a moment here. I'm having a fucking stroke moment. I think I just had another stroke.
A strowman?
Yes. Anyway. Okay, soul scalped. Here's what her definition of soul
scalping.
There we go. I'm all flustered right now. The fucking phone calls got me all flustered. Anyway, okay, basically the reptilians force a small 8-inch snake down the throat of a person. The snake wraps itself around the spinal cord, which allows the reptilians to take control of the person's body. They can even clone the person or even grow new people.
That's not really how the human body works.
I'm aware of this.
Okay, just making sure. You're saying she graduated college? I'm starting to understand why CNN didn't want her.
Apparently.
Okay, just got it.
Okay.
They put their finger in their butt, and then it comes out, and it's chocolate.
So she doesn't always mean that humans are reptilians, but there are some. But
they're being controlled by them.
Right. Now, there are some she believes that are actual reptilians in disguise.
It's kind of a puppet master thing, if you remember that movie.
Right. She believes that the reptilians that are actually in human disguise have a hard time controlling. They don't do it a lot because they have a hard time replicating the eyes of a human being, of humans, which reptilians have slotted eyes.
Not all the time.
Well, I thought most of them did.
A lot of them do, but not all the time.
Well, these do. In her world, in her fantasy world.
Yeah, like if you look at like a lot of most lizards don't.
But
And most non-venomous snakes.
But her thought is that we've all seen the videos of.
Actually, a lot of venomous snakes also don't.
We've all seen the videos on the internet of the reptilian eyes.
Oh yeah, like the fucking again. They're all like super like somebody fucked up tracking the VCR player when they were fucking recording it.
Right.
Yeah.
We've all seen those, and that's essentially where that comes from. And I'll kind of go into something a little bit later, which, you know, it's just how you can do things to videos to make things fucking look weird.
Yeah.
With motion blurring and motion fucking with the video. Special digital videos now. Anyway. Now, according to Sherrie, she has been stalked by the devil her entire life. She wrote a book where she sat down and had an interview with the devil. And the book was named An Interview with the Devil. I give her credit for on the nose.
Yeah, like she's not holding nothing back with that
title.
title.
I think Anne Rice could have got a little pissy about it. Maybe filed a fucking copyright claim with Interview with a Vampire.
Helen Keller could have wrote a better title in that book.
Well, no, she does have a lot of being a religious cult leader. She has a lot of thoughts on Armageddon or the end times. She believes we are in the end times, or when she was alive, we are in the end times then and now. She feels that we are in war with Satan. Basically, she takes the Book of Revelation and takes Battlestar Galactica and smash it together, and out pops out the wonderful world of the future that she is living in. It's like a smash burger. You just take that shit and...
Oh, speaking of, did you know that just random thought of the night, another one. You remember that, what was that movie with John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker where they're like alien people?
Oh, fuck. Battlefield Earth.
You know that's based off Scientology?
Yes. That was a
So weird.
L. Ron Hubbard book.
So weird. So weird. Such a bad movie.
Now, she told her followers and wanted them to start doomsday prepping.
Sweet.
And prepare for the upcoming war. Sherrie was so delusional, she says that she was on a hit list of the powerful elites. Assassins have been sent to kill her on several locations. She said she was even number 2, not 1, not 3, but 2 on Obama's hit list. She was ahead of Osama bin Laden, damn it. She brought down the fucking
Who was number
tower.
1?
Probably Osama, actually. Let's be honest.
That's what you threw me for a loop with that one. I was like, wait, so...
But how delusional was this bitch?
She was just trying to make herself sound important.
Right. She started selling defenses to her followers against demons and aliens. Now, you've heard of Oregon, right?
The state?
No, not Oregon. Oregon. It's actually a real thing.
Sounds like a character from a Lord of the Rings novel.
But she made Oregon pucks, and she said that these could even bring down UFOs and would protect you against the demonic possessions or reptilians trying to take your body. The snake, you know, I think we have different versions of gobbling the snake. But Oregon is, she called her followers Oregon warriors. This is, hold on. What? I even got it written down.
Are we going to get to a point where we talk about how many followers she had? Because I'm really intrigued by that.
I don't know exact number, but it was
Okay.
thousands. It was thousands.
Jesus Christ.
And if I'm not mistaken, she sold Oregon. She stole Oregon. She sold stuff on the internet. And I think it was reported over 10 years, she made about $700,000 in these sales.
Eat a dick.
$70,000 a year.
It's pretty good.
That's not bad. I mean, fuck, I'd take that as a side hustle.
That's enough to rent a dumpster in L.A.
Now, what it actually is Oregon? Basically, it's a pseudoscientific concept variously described as an esoteric energy or hypothetical universal life force. Basically, Wilhelm Reich said that Oregon was the life force of existence. It was used to combat negative energies, kind of like crystal energy.
So it's not
It's
actually a physical thing?
Yes, you can make
Okay.
it. It's copper, some other things you combine. I should have looked it up, and I didn't. I ran out of time. You can actually make it yourself.
Well, why the fuck are people
It was
spending-
so prominent that people were using it to protect food back in the 30s, and the FDA had to fucking, I don't know the whole story, but they actually had to come out and say, don't do this.
See, this is all just leading down the road of how stupid we are as a species.
Oh, well, we're fucking idiots. There's no question about it. Now, like I said, she had thousands of followers. I don't know the exact number, but thousands.
The fact that there was more than
2?
any, maybe her family.
She had a 10-year run, and that's when, after the 10-year run, from about 2002 to about 2012, she had a pretty good run. I mean, yes, she was batshit fucking crazy, but nothing bad happened. 2012 is where shit started going off the rails. And it starts with the suicide of Kelly Pengilly.
Pengilly. Sounds like a
Pengilly.
fucking store in Harry Potter.
She was from Redford Township, Michigan. After her parents' divorce, she had a crisis of faith and started spending a lot of time browsing the old interwebs. And nothing bad happens when you do that. You go down that fucking, get those chat rooms. She started getting to fringe religious sites. Naturally, she came across Sherrie Shiner. She befriended Sherrie via the internet, and Kelly even started transcribing Sherrie's podcast for her.
She had a podcast? Is that still
Well,
available?
I don't. That was what the blog, what she started her show was basically a podcast. Kelly believed in the Oregon and fell for everything Sherrie was preaching to her. She started to sound crazy and believe that the world was doomed and the devil was winning the war, and it was a matter of time before Satan ruled the earth. Kelly's views went even further than Sherrie did at this time. And it was to the point where Sherrie had to say, pump the brakes, bitch. What the fuck's going on here? You're getting a little out there. And so the two started to split a little. And here's why. Kelly actually started to believing she was conversing with the Almighty God.
Shocker.
And good old Sherrie wasn't having this. She wanted people to think she was the only one that can converse with her dad. I just want to know who got the inheritance, Jesus or her.
Of what?
Of the
I
kingdom.
bestow upon you my 2 cloaks.
Now, well, naturally, this didn't set well with Sherrie. Sherrie wanted people to think she was the only one that could talk to God. Sherrie cut her off and turned her followers against her, because we know the trolls.
So stupid.
They like to do that. On December 28th, 2012, Kelly drove to Waterloo, Michigan. She stopped and bought 30 Sleepinol tablets.
Sleeping all?
Yes. She drove to the woods, parked her car, and got out and walked to the woods. She took off her coat, folded it, laid it down, and she took all 30 pills and laid down in the snow. Her body was found the next day by a group of kids who followed her footsteps into the woods.
Bitch.
The coroner couldn't determine whether she died of an overdose or hypothermia, but the death was ruled a suicide. Because she did leave a note in her car, in her diary, to the parents saying how she loved them. And according to the note, I'm paraphrasing here, she said she was going to heaven. She had a mission to do. She was going to heaven to converse with God and take care of this mission, and she would be back. She's going to become an angel, do what she needed to do, and she was coming back.
So unfortunate that she passed away and everything, but like this chick was fucking crazy. Got it.
And she had a history of mental issues.
No way.
Sherrie
Say it isn't so, Phil.
Yeah. Now Sherrie took this fucking devastating, horrific event of a suicide of a young woman, and she tried to turn it to her own profit off of it. She told her followers that Kelly was killed by a NATO death squad. I mean, this sounds much cooler than believing the BS about death angels and the devil and all that shit. A NATO death squad. That's awesome. You must be pretty high up in the world to get a NATO death squad hit put on you. But basically, Sherrie was using it to try to get attention from this young girl's death, which is fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
You need to be skinned.
I mean, that's a cult leader thing to do, though.
Yeah, no. Now, this wasn't the only tragedy. We are coming to. This is the last thing I want to talk about.
I was gonna say, you say we're not even halfway through my notes. Yeah, but you type in like 20,000 font.
Bite my pedis. That's because I'm old and can't see.
That's fair.
Now let's get to Stephen Marino and Barbara Rogers. In 2017, a 911... Mineo? I think it's Mineo. In 2017, a 911 call was placed by Barbara Rogers saying her boyfriend, Stephen Mineo, put a gun in her hands and forced her to pull the trigger. Or maybe he pulled the trigger. We'll get into that.
It's an interesting method.
Now, Barbara was an Army vet and the mother of 3 kids. She was raised Christian, had a history of mental issues. Shocker. She found Sherrie in 2011, and this is where she met Stephen. Stephen was a big follower. Now, Stephen was unemployed and made money by going through the trash, finding electronics, fixing them up, and sold them. Now, Stephen was a big follower of Sherrie's, and he was a YouTuber, a conspiracy YouTuber, and apparently had a pretty big, at the time, pretty big following. So that just goes to tell you people, if you want to become a YouTuber, not a lot of money in it, and even if you do have a pretty good following, you're still fucking homeless digging through trash.
Yeah, like us.
I don't dig through trash. I have morals.
We've gotten pretty close.
I ain't that hungry. Anyway, okay, where was I? Sherrie convinced Stephen to move to the Pocono Mountains. Like I said, Stephen was big. He had a conspiracy channel. And he was a big prepper, so he had a lot of guns. Which, how can broke people have guns?
Right.
Ammo is expensive. Guns aren't cheap.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Stephen and Barbara kind of got together. They met through Sherrie, through the chat, whatever, from her website. They met in person and fell in love. And Sherrie moved to the Poconos to be with Stephen. They never got married, but they called each other husband and wife. They didn't want the government involved in their marriage, which, hey, I'm down for. Fuck the government when it comes to marriage.
You mean Barbara?
Oh, what did I say, Sherrie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I was like, where the fuck did that one take a turn?
That was a hell of a threesome.
Oh, damn.
Barbara and Stephen considered each other married. They called each other husband and wife, but they didn't have the piece of paper, which I'm all for.
He's a fuck.
I don't think the government needs to be involved in the marriage anyway.
Oh.
But that's a story for another date. Now, things did kind of take a turn for old Stephen and Barbara. Stephen, here, basically, my notes are going to are kind of out of order here, but basically, Sherrie and Barbara had a falling out. Okay?
Sherrie and Barbara?
Yeah, Sherrie
Okay.
did not like Barbara that much because Sherrie was not as much into, or I'm sorry, Barbara was not into Sherrie as much as Stephen.
Yeah.
And she kind of went radio silent for a while. But Sherrie, being a great Facebook stalker, naturally, most of her, I didn't mention this, most of her following was on Facebook, a Facebook group. But
Official.
yes, it's not official till you have a Facebook group. Barbara posted a pic of raw meat and said how she was craving raw meat. I mean, whatever. Now, Sherrie took that as Barbara was a reptile. And she even called her a blood, or her interest in blood called her a vampire witch.
She's just like throwing around terms at this
Well,
point.
here's the thing. When you eat a rare steak or a raw, or not rare, a cooked steak, either rare or medium rare or whatever,
Blue.
that's not blood. That red juice is not blood.
It's just deliciousness.
It's water and something else. It's not actually blood. And obviously Sherrie was not aware of this because she thought, because Sherrie's probably kind of a fucking idiot.
You think?
I'm pretty confident going out on that ledge.
I think all the research points to fucking idiot.
So Sherrie turned against Barbara and started, like I said, calling her a vampire witch, and kind of got, once again, her MO is to get her followers to, do her dirty work and send dirty DMs, and not the good kind either, the nasty ones. the mean and hurtful ones. And Stephen was not happy about this. He tried to broker a peace. He even tried to prove that Barbara was not a reptilian by taking an organ puck, whatever the fuck it's called, while Barbara slept and put it on her and videotaped it and sent it to Sherrie to prove she is not a vampire witch. She's not a demon. She's not a reptilian. This would have killed her.
Yeah. It didn't kill her.
It didn't kill her. But Sherrie wasn't having none of it. She still was insisting that she was evil.
That experiment will only work if you buy the $600 piece of organ from my website. Duh.
Okay. The cult started to verbally assault Barbara even more. Like I said.
So they're a bunch of bullies. It's fucking junior high kids.
Eventually, Sherrie booted Stephen out of the group.
Oh, darn.
And Stephen didn't take this well because, God rest his soul, he probably wasn't, this was his life. He had found his people, which I'm all for that.
Yeah.
You find your people, and when you get that taken away from you, you don't handle it well. I'm sure he went to a depression. I'm sure he struggled with it. And he kind of turned against Sherrie, and he even tried to hire a private investigator.
Goddamn.
To kind of bring her down. But unfortunately for him, he didn't realize that private investigators are pretty expensive. He can only afford about 4 hours worth of work.
Right.
And Sherrie was pretty smart in the fact that she had a P.O. box, but naturally in that 4 hours, the PI did find her actual address.
Yeah.
But he couldn't go on the property because it was a long driveway in the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't just go in there and spy on her. He had to sit outside and wait. But here's the thing. Sherrie never left the house.
Shocker.
So Stephen wanted to get like pictures of her smoking or something like that to say she was a false prophet.
Mm-hmm.
She was just playing everybody. Stephen never got this. So in July of 15th of 2017, things took a tragic turn. Now, after a series of hateful Facebook comments from the followers of Sherrie, he had enough. They decided to start drinking. They went to a bar. After the bar, he wanted to go out to the woods because they lived in a efficiency apartment, but it's actually a room in a house he rented, just one bedroom, probably about the size of this kitchen.
Living it up.
And they had a kitchen.
I could easily live in a room this size.
It was small. Bed, kitchen, and living room all in one room. Basically a one-room apartment.
Mm-hmm.
They got back from the bar. They decided to go, he wanted to go shoot his gun. So they went, and the house backed up to the woods. So they went to the woods and fired guns. He, according to Barbara, he said, "You want to take a shot?" She said, "No, I'm good." They went back to the house. At this time, I spoke earlier about the 911 call.
Mm-hmm.
This is when the 911 call happens. Apparently, Stephen was shot in the head, and Stephen, according to Barbara, Stephen kept trying to put the gun in her hand and say, "Shoot me." And according to her, at one point, he put the gun in her hand and the gun went off. The cops investigated. Naturally, they heard the 911 and then investigated. They interviewed Barbara. Things weren't adding up. She said they were standing up. From the evidence in the crime scene, Stephen, I believe, was either sitting on the ground or what have you, and the gun was 5 feet away. So if it was a self-inflicted gunshot, naturally it wouldn't go 5 feet away. It would fall directly close to the body, within a close proximity of the body. So they were calling bullshit. So naturally she was arrested and tried for murder or for killing Stephen. Now,
that will happen.
There are, I believe the series we talk about, or the documentary on Vice, that season 2, it does show some of the interrogation.
Hmm.
The bitch is batshit crazy.
Sweet.
When the detective leaves the room, she's sticking to her story, but she's saying, "I miss you." She's talking to Stephen because she believes Stephen was an angel now and was going to be her guardian angel.
Of course.
So she was saying, let's be honest, there
Yeah.
was nothing wrong here.
Not a single thing.
Or she was just going batshit crazy because she just killed her fucking boyfriend.
I think she already was.
Probably. So anyway, long story short, I don't need to bore you with the investigation. On March of 2019, a jury convicted her of third-degree murder and sentenced her to 15 to 40 years in prison. Luckily, she avoided the first-degree charge that would have sentenced her to life. In February of 2021, a state panel upheld the sentence, so she's going to stick her ass in jail.
Yeah.
For at least 15 years, maybe
10 with good behavior.
Now, in 2000, let's backtrack, get back on Sherrie. In 2010, Sherrie started to develop health issues. She was a smoker, but she blamed her health issues and said that demons were attacking her, and that was what was the cause of those said health.
Of course.
Not the cigarettes and probably the drinking. If you listen to her talk, like I said, her YouTube channel is still there. Listen to her fucking talk. I wish I would have had time and got some.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds like she's been smoking for 40 years. Her voice is gravelier than whatever. That's not a word, but I don't give a fuck.
More gravelly.
Yes, correct. Thank you, Travis. Than my voice.
Than my voice in 15 years.
Yes. On January 8th of 2018, Sherrie passed away from a heart attack. After her death, her daughter Melanie and some of her followers ran her Facebook page for a while. As of right now, all the websites and Facebook pages are inactive.
Fair.
The YouTube channel, like I said, is still up, but hasn't been updated since 3 days before her death.
That's all she wrote?
That's it.
What an interesting foray down the rabbit hole of stupid fucking people that should just stay off the goddamn internet a little bit. Or stay on the internet, but move over here.
Move over here. We will be your cult leaders, and we will not tell you to kill anybody.
It hasn't been brought up in a while, but we are the leaders of the poop cult.
The poop cult is here.
I don't think we've brought that up in like a year.
I know. The poop cult is...
Poop cult's back, bitch. That's hard one to wrap your head around. Just some lady on the fucking internet is garnering fucking followers over bullshit.
Well, in my personal opinion, she just took all the conspiracy theories and tied it with religion. It was lazy. She didn't come up with anything original.
Well, as far as the internet aspect, she kind of hit it at the perfect time. Maybe.
Right. She timed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
She was early to the game. But she took all the conspiracy theories, put them in a jar, jumbled it up, and just spewed it out. I mean, pick a lane.
Fucker.
Pick a lane.
I mean, R.I.P., but fuck off.
Yeah. So, in 1965, what
So
year? What year? She's 7 years older than me.
65.
What year did she die?
So 2018, so that'd be 53?
53 years old. She was only 3 years older than me. Oh my God. I had a stroke. Maybe the Satan's coming after me.
This story. It's just outlandish.
It's outlandish, but it's sad that people can be
so easily led to believe such
people
bullshit.
People with issues
are the people that end up
doing this. It's sad.
Not to say falling for, but falling for this shit.
And it's sad.
In the worst ways. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of overall mentally healthy and stable people that end up in it, but like, it seems to be the ones that might be a little off balance in some way, shape, or form that end up taking this shit to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, these are the people that are drawn to these type of people like Sherrie Shiner, but they are also the last people that should be drawn to. They should steer clear of people like that.
But some of them, in their own way, might not know any better.
Right. I mean, like Stephen, for instance. He found his people, and we all want to be included in a group of like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
We find comfort in that. Nobody wants to live alone on an island. We want to have people around us. And when you I don't want to be derogatory, but when you have outside the box thinking,
Mm-hmm.
you find those people, you are happy. And then when that is ripped from you, and it will be, because these people that are head up these type of
Don't actually give a fuck about
don't
you.
give a fuck, just like most televangelists don't give a fuck about their congregation. They just give a fuck about getting money for the jet planes. Eventually it's going to go sour, and those people who are drawn to that are hurt by that. So it is the best of, it's like Styx, the greatest of times and the worst of times.
God damn it.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's how you do it. You end on a Styx
reference. And for those of you who don't know who Styx is, probably most of people watching this
Right.
do not know, have never heard of the group Styx.
Then you obviously don't know that the renegade that had it made, whatever that word is, that to the bounty.
Oh, mama.
Yeah. What is that? What word does he say right there? The bounty.
Terrible. Oh, hurtful. I loved Styx back in the day. A Renegade, great song. Paradise. Oh, some of their early shit. Now, you get to Mr. Roboto, go fuck yourself.
It's like a whole different band.
Yeah. Late 70s Styx was fucking badass.
Oh.
Anyway. All right. I think that's going to wrap up this episode. You have any... Oh, shit. You have any closing thoughts, Travis?
The ridiculousness of this one just kind of speaks for itself. I think.
Don't hear people. Public service announcement. Don't join stupid cults. Join our cult.
Poop cult.
We will not have you. We will not send our followers after you unless you leave a dirty comment. I mean,
and even then, probably won't.
And we'll probably praise you for leaving. But like we say, come strong. Don't half-ass it.
Come.
All right, guys. Thank you for taking time out of your busy Saturday and watching this live stream. We greatly appreciate all of you. And for those of you on your favorite podcast app, hopefully Spotify, but that could be Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Podbean,
other stuff,
Audible, Amazon, Google Podcasts. We greatly appreciate you listening. So be sure to rate, review, and all that shit. But come on over to youtube.com/Ghost of the Night and watch us live as well, where you can interact with us and the people in the chat and like and subscribe and all that shit. So we will see you next week for another fun-filled adventure
on a day at a time.
Hopefully it will be Saturday again, but follow us on all the social medias and you will know that.
Maybe find out.
We will try.
I didn't post shit about this on anything because I'm trying to stay off Instagram so they'll fucking unshadow ban us.
So thank you guys. We love you, and we will see you next week.
Adieu.